What it is, YouTube fam. Here we are again, doing what I do best on my days off, which is not be off. So today we're dealing with the John Deere that I posted a couple of videos on. I got this one. I adopted it from a bad, what do you call it? Bad divorce. Got it for a good deal. As I said before, I got stuck in the back of my backyard, blew the motor because I was upright and the oil wasn't getting to where it needed to be. Got a new motor in there, so on. A couple motors later, a couple engines later, this thing was running pretty good. And unfortunately, over the weekend, I decided to go cut the grass. And on this side, I got some tarp out back, got sucked in there. I didn't even see it. I didn't think I was that close to it, but I guess the suction just got it. It tangled up in there and demolished the engine. It ran for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it started like losing power and made a funky noise, and ended up blowing a hole behind the starter there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pretty good bump there. I don't know what knocked out of place. So the plan here is, instead of getting a new engine, I'm gonna try to salvage some parts off of it and throw it on another one that has a bad compression relief valve, or whatever the heck that's called, the little thing that relieves the compression in there that sits in the cam. So I'm gonna go ahead and take open this one up. I'm gonna drain the oil, get rid of the deck first. So you gotta take that pan out, and there's another pan up here. It's the same on the other side. Unhook the belt. I got videos on how to do service on this, so you can go on the channel and look those up to take this off. And I'm gonna try to document along as I go here, take some pictures of how things are, like how your hoses sit up, all the components of the carbs in here, this little sensor here. Just make sure you document how those things are placed in there. But we're gonna get to work. We're gonna start by unhooking the deck and draining the oil, and then we're gonna strip the engine. Eventually drain the oil. When the oil is drained, I'm gonna flip it and go from underneath and try to see if the cam that's on this one is any good. If it's good and it has the valve that I need, I'll take that and transfer it to the other engine. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the other one, you hit the key and it will spin. You can see the flywheel start struggling because it's got pressure in there, and you have to like mess with this in order to be able to get it to go again. So if I can get the cam off of this one and throw it on the other one, will be good. So we're going to start. We took the hood off. It just lifts up, and then you got this cable here for the headlights. Take that off. I don't know if you do have the extension for your oil, but I have that there, make it a little easier. I'm gonna take the deck off and then tip it this way so the oil comes all out and I don't have a mess. All right, so now that we have the deck off, I'm sorry, yeah, the deck is off. Now I already removed the valve cover, and now it's time to get underneath here and start taking things apart. So again, I made a video on how to replace the engine before when I put this one on. So now I'm just gonna skip ahead and get to the part where I'm going to start opening this, the bottom of this engine up, and gathering parts and see what will happen in there. If I can see it, we'll show you what the problem was. I'm gonna guess the piston rod took a dump, and that's what probably locked it up. As you can see here, you can't even move this. It was free at a point, and I kept messing with it because I didn't know I was wrong, and eventually locked up. So I'm going to probably use these rockers right here. So I'm probably gonna use these guys here, and these guys, if they're not bent, in order to get everything where it needs to be. The aluminum one goes on the intake, and the darker one goes on the exhaust. I also have a video on how to adjust all of this. You have some star screws right here, or T screws, to get that loosened up, and then you gotta get a wrench on the outside to hold it in place, go from there. But that's what we have. So again, you can look at the previous video on how to take the engine down, but all it is taking that pulley off. There's a bolt underneath there. You slide that off, it comes down, and then you gotta take this 4 screws right here, or bolts rather. There's one right there, one right here, one on this side, and one on the rear. Just use my previous video to guide yourself to getting that off of there. I'm also gonna have to do my pickup coil here. Is gonna have to be removed and used on the other one, so I don't have another one for the other engine. Probably gonna keep some of these parts like this here. These hoses are gonna be reused. The starter, I'm gonna put it to the side, just in the event that I need any of it. That's if this is salvageable. If not, I'm gonna have to end up getting a new engine. So as we tear down and get down to business here, just wanted to give you a visual where we are. Took the intake out, removed it from over there. I checked on the rods. They're not bent, so I'm leaving them in there for now. So we're good there. The rockers are in good shape. I do have this whole piece here I took down, but it gives you, this is what happened. Whatever happened in there, this is what caused, and they have a crack like that on the other side as well. So something went sideways there, and yeah, ended the life of this engine. So now we're gonna go underneath and release the pulley down here. So we're gonna get the pulley taken off, and then we're gonna take these bolts up here, these 4 bolts, to get the engine out of there and flip it around. See if we can. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope that that cam didn't get damaged, any of the teeth or anything like that. If that's the case, then we're pretty much just gonna throw the other engine on. I'm actually probably gonna open it up and still try to fish out the little compression relief to get it out of there, so it doesn't run into anything and break that motor, and I can just deal with turning the flywheel by hand. But this one is fried. This one is pretty stuck in there. You can't go back and forth. So I'm not sure if I would have stopped whenever it happened, I probably could have saved it, but turning it over and over might have jammed it up, and maybe the teeth are broken. We'll see. All right, we got everything loosened up. It's time to take the motor from here. We're gonna flip it upside down, get to the bottom of it, and see what we're dealing with. So I guess not yet. I haven't taken the exhaust bolts off, so we gotta get that done first. All right, I think now we're ready to go. Let's get this guy off of here. All right, so now we got the engine off the tractor itself, and we're gonna flip it upside down. See, hopefully we don't have a lot of trouble keeping balance and not too much of a mess here. I'm gonna plug the dipstick hole, so to try to minimize oil coming out of there. Shouldn't be an issue though, and I got these papers down, so gotta get my spark plug out of there at some point. So I'm gonna reuse it. And all right, let's flip this guy around and see what we got. Expecting a little bit of a mess here. All right, let's walk you over and show you what we need to do here. So what we're gonna do is we need to take off the pump bolts out, and then we're gonna be taking these these bolts right here have to come out, and then we're gonna slide that plate up, revealing the bottom. There's a seal in here. We'll see how we deal with that. It's pretty sharp in there. So I'm gonna grab a small hammer and try to bang on the corners here to try to break this loose. I don't even have a gasket. I got some gasket maker. I'm gonna try to, do the job without it. And for now, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. I'm just digging around and see what I can come up with. But I wouldn't suggest that you do the same. I just don't know what I have, and I'm not gonna start ordering parts without knowing. So that's just my recommendation. For the pump, there's three screws. Actually, we're gonna mark that first. I'm gonna take a marker, and you know what? I don't know that it even matters because I'm not gonna be using this engine anymore. I would suggest if you're replacing the gasket or doing anything, the cam in there, you would mark this line here, put a line across so you know where the orientation in case it needs to be the same way. This is an 8mm. I'll remove these guys from here. I have a magnet tray somewhere. One of it's being used. We'll just put this to the side for now. Hopefully we don't lose them. All right, here comes the oil pump. It's pretty milky in there. That's what it looks like. We're just gonna bring it right out. It has to match the way that it's in there now. I'm going to put it back. So there's that little star looking thing, and then there's like a little rod in there underneath. So just get one at a time. I want to get a rag and try to clean up as I go here. Give you a better view there. Give me a magnet, and I wipe that down a little bit. Let's get some more, get a little cleaner in there. And here, let me give you a over the top view. Little magnet that comes off. You can see that there's a little hole that matches the key in there. So put that to the side. And then take the rod out. And then now we're ready to start taking those bolts out. These here, let's see what size they are. All right, that is a size 13mm. So we're gonna remove all these bolts here. From my understanding, they're all the same, what's it called? The same length, and they're to be tied at 25 foot-pounds. Okay, we have all the bolts loose. This also was in here, came out of there, so I'm not sure that there is an downside or upside, but I will keep track of which way you took it out. Again, with this one, don't really care because I'm not gonna be reusing it, but this is the cleaner side. I would imagine it's the side that goes down. Take all the bolts out, and then we're gonna start tapping around and try to get this case to come off. So I'm hitting all the corners where I have this. These are the mounting corners for the bolts that hold it to the frame, and I'm just hitting the corners here to get this done. I don't really have a little hammer on me right now, but again, I don't really care. This is just gonna be garbage, and it's coming up here. Already hear things falling apart in there, and here we go, going up. And I'll try to be careful here, and we get you a picture of what's going on. There's parts everywhere. Oh, that cam is destroyed. Maybe not. It's only the piston rod, so maybe we can salvage it. Here's what the inside looks like. Pretty nasty. I try to take care of this motor pretty good, but I think this is a result of the carnage that went on in there when this thing broke in half, or whatever happened to it. So let's put this aside somewhere. Oh, we got oil coming out. Just drain this a little bit. Just hang with me. But you can see there, look at the piston rod just disintegrated and went everywhere. So that's what caused the problems. We're gonna try to take the governor out, try to see if we can get that cam out of there, and see if we can salvage the pressure relief, the compression relief valve that's in there. So the goal here is to take that governor from that corner there, right here. That's where it goes. Here's your throttle thing that controls the speed. It's a little bit shoot up. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to use this one. I see, you see that white spot right there? Something hit it there, something hit it there. I don't know what that's supposed to look like. I'm really just hoping that the cam right here, it's intact. So we're gonna try to take this out as a whole unit. This is not broken, that's just how it goes. I believe that opens up as it spins to control the speed. So let's see what we can accomplish here. Set you up over here. Go nice and careful here. Just grab this side, and there it comes right out. Here's your governor. Again, I don't know that this is any good. This here had a little holding slide for these pins, and I think they're broken. So we might just have to use the other one. Let's put this aside for now. Used to be a piston once upon a time. There's just pieces of it everywhere. I guess it's a good learning video, and making sure you're careful with your engine when you're driving around. Make sure no ropes or anything. If you do happen to get something stuck in there, go ahead and make sure you stop your machine right away. But let's see what we got here. Look at all this shrapnel. It's crazy. So when you put this together, this here has to line up with this hole just a little bit to the right. There are two dimples, one on the cam, one on the shaft here, that we have to match when we put it back together. There's one right here. The one on the shaft is right there. The one on the cam, we have to find it. Probably gonna be difficult with all this crap around. We'll get it done. I don't see it because there's too much oil, but I think that's it right there. See that little dimple right there? That has to match with that when you put it back together. So let's see, this guy, it's pretty stuck in there. I might have to use two hands to get it out. Let me see if I can wiggle it out. So I was able to get the cam out intact, but however, that's where that little claw goes right there, and that is not saved. It's way in there. I can see it in the bottom there where you can't focus. You see that we're at the bottom there. There's a little claw looking thing, and that's I'll see if I can get it with my magnet here. But that's what I was hoping that wasn't broken. With that being broken, I don't know if I want to mess with my other engine. So this is it right here. I don't know if it's sheared off or if I can get that back on there where it belongs. I don't see any signs of it breaking. I wonder if I can just put that guy back on where it belongs in there and save it. I'm gonna have to go online and see how it's set up. See if I can throw that together, and then I'll go after the other engine. You can see here you definitely need a gasket. I got gasket maker, so I'm not worried about it. I can just throw that, put some on there and go from there. This is where your rods sit in. So they go through here all the way across and they sit in here. Well, there is a visual of how this is supposed to look like. There's your rod, your piston rod, just completely demolished there. The piston is in there, broken in pieces. I just touched it there, but actually there's another part of it, so that's where the piston goes into, right here, this part. That's a piston rod. I don't know what part this would be here, but nonetheless it is completely destroyed. This engine is garbage, except for the starter and some electrical parts. These shields are good. This rods here, the valves, I can use that. I need it for the other engine because I had to take them. When I bought this engine, it was missing. I went to turn it on and I wasn't getting anything. It was because these were broken. The guy that sold it to me, I don't know if he didn't know it, but I ended up taking the other ones from my old one and put it on here and it worked. So that's where we at right now. We're gonna stop the video and take a break here to try to figure out if I can put the piece back on, and also make a decision on whether I want to use my other engine with that piece broken, with this piece right here broken, because it will work, but if that thing jumps at any point, I mean, you see how big that is, and I don't know how bad of a break it was on the other one, but if it jumps around, it can get in the gears and it can just screw everything up. So let's take a break here and see what we're gonna do. Okay, so here's the other engine that I have. I've taken the sump right off and open it up. It's kind of clean in there and everything. Gasket needs to be replaced. I wanted to make sure that the valve that we're talking about, that compression relief valve, was not broken and sitting in there, but I believe this engine got worked on before I bought it, and that was removed already because I don't see it in there anywhere, and I've looked everywhere as much as I can. It's pretty obvious if it was in there that it would show, and I don't see it. So I'm gonna throw my magnet in there and feel around. I did find a little piece of metal on the gears here on the shaft, but other than that, I'm not seeing anything anywhere. So I'm gonna run it like this. I just didn't want to put it on the tractor while it had without knowing whether that was in there or not, and then kick myself in the butt for not doing it properly. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna put it back together and try to run it. Now I know at least that it doesn't have the pieces in there, so at least I know whenever it goes, it goes. I don't know, I might order the whole kit and redo all this in here and do it properly, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to go through all that. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, who knows. I think the seal on this is pretty messed up, and I don't know that I can get that other seal out and save it. I'm gonna see if I can somehow be able to. What happened is that when they were sliding it down, it got caught in here, and the spring is a little messed up, but we'll see what I can do with it. If not, I'm gonna try to get that other one out one way or another and save that, so I don't have to be without a mower for a couple of days. So that's where we at. We're gonna put everything back together. I did tell you earlier that it was 25 foot-pounds. It's not foot-pounds, it's inch-pounds. This were pretty tight, so they tied it in there. I couldn't even get it off of my impact wrench. I had to get dirty weather and, you know, put some leverage into the bolts to get them off. But You can see here the governor has these ears. They're pretty large, and that's the old one. They broke off, as you can see on both sides there, left and right side. They broke off pretty good, so I'm glad that I didn't use that. So yeah, we're gonna start putting things back, and we're gonna throw some oil on this guy and see if we can get a couple seasons out of it before we have to buy a new mower. I mean, but if it lasts me 2 or 3 years, I think at that point I just buy a whole new mower. Although the mower is in pretty good shape, it doesn't have any rust. I got new tires in the front and back. I'll keep it clean and try to maintain it as best as I can. The belts are new. Just put some new pulleys on there. I don't really want to get rid of it, but I also don't want to keep throwing money into used motors. You don't know what the heck they did, the last person that had it, how they treated it and all that. So anyway, I hope this video helps, and if you got any questions, leave it in the comments. Try to get back to you with the best of my knowledge. This is the stuff that I was saying that I didn't know what it was. Is the cam. What is it called? I forget. I slip again. But I think it's the cam rods. So anyway, I'm gonna put it back together and see if we can get it running. All right, guys. So I was able to put everything back together. I had to salvage the seal from this one because when you're sliding this on the shaft, you can catch it and bend the inside of the seal. The seal faces in. There's an opening, like a little groove that goes all the way around, and there's a spring in there. You want to make sure that you go nice and slow and that you don't catch anything. This cam that was in there somehow was too wobbly here, and it wasn't allowing the top of the rod, the shaft that goes through it, to come into the oil pump. So I ended up switching to the old one. That wasn't the engine that broke. It fit a lot tighter. There was no play, and I was able to get the lid on top. Earlier, I did say I was confused with the torque. I did say foot-pounds and then inch-pounds. You can convert it to whichever one, but it's 18 foot-pounds is what you want in there. If you have a torque wrench that's inch pounds, and you're gonna have to convert it, or newtons, however that works. But I do foot pounds, and I'm gonna do 18. I went and put it all by hand, tied them by hand, and I think the sequence go 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then so just go across. So go across from the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and then just cross them. Don't do like in a row, because you'll get one side tight and then the other side is gonna be lifted. So just go on a cross pattern. So I'm to that point now. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, and then I'm gonna put my pump back in there, and I'm gonna let this sit overnight because I put some gasket maker in there, and I'm gonna try this tomorrow. I'll put some oil in it, and I'll do the valve adjustments. I have all that taken apart in the front, and hopefully everything is where it needs to be, and I don't break it. So if I knew, I would not mess with this. I would have left it alone, with the exception that I did have a messed up seal, and it was leaking oil on the deck since last year. So that they need to fix, and there's no way to get that done without taking this out anyway. But other than that, we're gonna hope that everything is where it needs to be, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna tie this now, 18 foot-pounds, and then we're gonna take a pause and then let it dry, and tomorrow we're gonna do the valve covers. All right, guys, so I was a little worried that this was not gonna work because the flywheel was not turning nice and easy as it should, like it is right now. After I was done with open heart surgery last night, but that was happening because I didn't have the rods and the whole valve set up. So both valves were shut, not allowing any compression to be released from the engine. So I thought something was too tight. That's not the case. I know this is not supposed to be like this, but I am gonna run the risk of running this without that valve relief and try to deal with the whole, sticking every now and then. Just for the sake of this project, I will let you know that I didn't use a gasket down here when I separated the sum, and I didn't use a gasket here. I used some Honda Bond. They're not sponsoring me, just to let it be known, but I use some Honda Bond here, and I use some gasket maker down here, the stuff that's not what's it called, non-hardening. So at this stage, I got my I also have a video on how to do your valves, how to set them up, but I have those set up 4 and 6, 4 on the intake, 6 on the and I mean thousandths of an inch. On the intake 4, on the exhaust I have it at 6. I had some screws laying around from the previous engine that broke. I cut those up and used them for my muffler, because it was being really loud, and I think it was just some of the noise was escaping out of here. But everything is flowing nice and smooth. I gotta put my coil yet, and then set up the carburetor and fire this baby up after I add oil, of course. So we're getting there. Once that's done and this runs, I gotta change the filter. I'm gonna do an oil change right after, just to try to get any impurities, any stuff that's within the engine. But that's where we are right now. Gonna keep on chucking along here. I just realized that this cover here has the fins do have some broken, the fin has some broken fins. I might try to replace that with the other one, which has them all, and just to make it as best as possible. But we're moving along here, getting into the final stages. I'm gonna go ahead and secure the engine to the deck, and then put my carburetor on, and the starter is already there, and we just have to set everything up afterwards. All right, guys, it's the end of most of the work. I'm just missing the filter. I got my battery hooked up. I got my spark hooked up. My spark plug is in there. Starter, all the wires are connected. There's oil in the engine. I'm not seeing any leaks as of right now. We're gonna try to fire this thing up and see what we get. Cross our fingers, and hopefully this goes the way we want it. And I don't have my belt on my deck in there. I only have the drive belt. The reason why I did that is because I want to see how this is gonna go before I go around doing extra stuff if this is gonna fail. I don't want to think that way, but we need to see what's gonna happen. Everything is riding smooth, turning, and I'm okay with putting a little bit of work every time I have to turn it on to spin that flywheel in order to get it to the free spot and go from there. Hopefully that doesn't hurt it in the long run. I got fresh oil in there. I'm gonna run this for a day or two, or a mow or two, and then go ahead and change the filter and get some new oil in there, and try to get rid of whatever was left inside. So here we go. Spoke too soon. My starter is not connected. Let's get that hooked up. Let me grab the bolt for it. All right, here we go.